First thing you'll want to do, assuming you've ordered the kit, it's arrived at your house, is make sure you have all your pieces. They'll send you a manifest slip that shows everything you should have. You'll want to cross-reference that with what was delivered to you. Make sure you're not missing anything, because you don't want to find in the middle of a crucial part installing your kit that you're missing something, and then you have to wait quite a bit to get the part that you need. Next step will be removing some of the stock pieces. So right away, you'll want to take off the stock mirrors. They're just simply threaded directly onto a little clip in the handlebars. Each side twists off in different directions, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they do that, but that's the case. So if you're twisting really hard and you're feeling like it's not budging, don't force and break your mirror. Just try twisting it the other way. So you'll take that off. You need to unbolt the stock headlight from the stock headlight bracket, which looks like this. Set all these pieces aside, just in case. You'll want all your old pieces if you want to sell the bike. It's a lot easier to sell it if it's original as opposed to has all the modifications. And also, one thing that may be an issue, I haven't run across this yet, is I don't know how any of this affects the stock warranty. My bike is still in the warranty period, and I think it might break your warranty. So just consult that or go over that before you buy the fairing. I don't think it's a big deal. The look of the bike is so good, and I haven't had any problems with it anyway, so that's that. You'll also need to remove the seat. So once you remove the seat, I should say, on the right side of your bike, you'll see this faceplate. Remove that with your key, and you'll find this little pull tab. You pull on that, this unlocks a clip in the back of the seat, and you can simply remove the seat. If you have the seat off, you'll be able to access these two bolts. These are the only things affixing your tank to the frame. Just gotta unscrew those. The tank will lift, but it's gonna be held by two hoses at the rear that you can just pull off. The fuel line, which is attached to a clip. It's a gray clip. You have to pinch and pull. Don't need to remove the fuel from the tank, but you do want to have a rag handy to catch the fuel that's already in the line. That'll drip out. And then you have a sensor that you need to, electrical that you need to undo. And once you unclip that, everything is detached from the tank. You can take that off and set it aside. So at this point, you've removed the mirrors, you've removed the stock headlight from the bracket, and you've removed the seat and the tank. Once all that is off, you can attach the first part of the kit, which is this piece here. I'm not gonna go step by step and disassemble everything and put it back on. You can reference the Autologue design video on YouTube. You'll then need to take the handlebars off. This part, I thought you can get around and not have to do it, and it would fit with the fairing, but it doesn't. You're going to waste a lot of time if you try to attach the fairing without removing this whole centerpiece and taking off the handlebars. It's just your gauge cluster will hit the windshield. You won't have any turning radius. It just won't work. So you need to take off the handlebars and this center console piece in order to get everything to fit right. So removing the centerpiece, you're gonna need to access 3 bolts for this here. So you have one here at the back, and then one here at the back. So 3 bolts. And then for the handlebars, you'll have 1 bolt on each handlebar. And the best thing I've found is using an impact driver with an Allen tip, and that'll make your life a lot easier. But this whole piece can come off as one. You don't need to take anything off. Like you don't need to detach the gauge cluster. It does take some work to get this off, but it will come off. You need to get this off so you can slide the handlebars off to get the stock mount brackets for the headlight and indicators. In terms of the fit for where you want to drop the handlebars, the stock position, this piece sits above the top of the fork. As you can see, I haven't dropped it too far, and this has given me enough clearance and also still comfortable, but that's up to you. Also, you can change, of course, because they're clip-on, the angles of your handlebars. If you want a more aggressive, like a racer look, you can. One thing that was weird, I don't know if this was a coincidence, but when I did change the angle of the handlebars, the throttle was starting to stick and I was having trouble shifting. But as soon as I brought those back to the normal position, everything started working in. Next, you're going to move out to the housing assembly for the headlight. This is all self-explanatory in how it attaches. I don't think you really need the YouTube video for that, but again, reference Autologue's YouTube video on how they put everything together in conjunction with this, and it should help you. This was a big sticking point for me. Everything was pretty much smooth sailing up to this point, which was fitting the housing to the stock headlight and headlight case. I've struggled. It took me a couple of days to get through this point. There was a couple of times where I honestly felt like giving up and just not even putting the fairing on at all. I would have the headlight in place, but it wasn't fitting right. I would put the fairing over the headlight. It was hitting the handlebar, or it was hitting the gauge clusters. It was sitting crooked on the headlight. It just wasn't working. I would say if you are planning on changing the headlight, like I eventually will do, when you take out all the wires, I would definitely label them so you know what is what and where it was located, because if you're not very keen on electrical work or you're not familiar with it, like I'm not very familiar with electrical, it can just look like a pile of spaghetti and get confused pretty quickly. Once you have that in place, you can start form fitting and attaching the fairing to see how it looks. Once you have the fairing where you need to be, you want to remove it because you need to install these brackets right here. They're going to attach to your radiator, and that's going to give support to underneath the fairing. That is also where I have attached the stock turn indicators for now until I can change out the headlight. Once that's all good, you're kind of in the home stretch. One thing that was great is you can just reach out to the guys from Autologue and ask them questions. They were awesome about that. The only thing is the time frame is so different that, you know, you're not probably going to get a response right away while you're working on it. So maybe plan ahead if you have a list of questions to ask them. Otherwise, use their video in conjunction with this one. And you should have a lot easier time than I did installing the fairing. If you have questions, you can always shoot questions in the comments section. I'm happy to help as well. But good luck. It's a great piece. It makes the bike look amazing. If you like the video, again, give a big thumbs up, subscribe, tell people about the channel, about the videos. I appreciate all the support. Thanks.